All right. So I'm so excited for our Zoom tonight and getting to hear from Sherry. Sherry had a huge, giant breakthrough after reading a certain book. And I can't wait to hear what your breakthrough was, Sherry. And please share everything.
Well, I've got my little sidekick behind me who's
good.
been part of this. She's so funny. Okay, so this is the book for me that has changed my entire perspective, The Business of the 21st Century, and Tammy has told me to read this since day one. So my takeaway from this most likely is what I'm going to start doing for my team members is just buying it for them, because honestly, everyone needs to understand the value of network marketing. And I think there's so many negative connotations with it. And when I think of all the times that I talk to people, that is what I hear every single time. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be a salesperson. So for me, I'm like, how can I solve for that? Because I try to look back from my experience of, working in the fashion industry and leading teams of people for 17 years, like what did I normally do? And I'm trying to figure that out. So that's what I've been working on all weekend. That was one of my biggest things that I did as a leader is every time I heard negativity towards something, I tried to figure out how to solve for that and share that with my team and inspire that with them so that they could speak to it instead of always, falling in line with it. Because I know that's how I felt with this whole thing too. Because just leading into this, Tammy's been talking to me, for, a year and a half before I finally decided to start doing this as a business. And I don't want to have every person that I work with take that long. So I'm like, I've got to figure out a way to get people to see the value of this as a business. And this book, I'm telling you, is life-changing. And this is what's been on my mind since last Tuesday when I finished it. And then I asked my husband to read it, and he read it over the weekend too. And then he saw value in this as a business as well. Because also they explain in there too, that this is a really good business to have in a recession, because network marketing companies actually continue to thrive even when businesses are not. So, and typically during recessions, you're going to see a lot of, turnover and like businesses cutting people, where people are still buying consumable products. They're using them every single day. So, this is where this business is still going to work. And, we've been doing so good as a country, and it's about to happen. It's going to sooner or later happen within probably the next couple of years. So if we can get our businesses going, this is going to sustain us if something else happens to somebody in our family. So that's my kind of reasoning behind wanting to do that. And then my whole mind changed because I think I've always been approaching it where I feel like I am still selling, and I feel like I've been doing kind of a bad job with leading my team because I'm just teaching them to keep selling. And so I'm trying to change my mind after reading this book, because he says it's not about being the best salesperson, and it's not about selling product. It's about creating a network of people that you are going to teach and duplicate yourself with. And I've heard this many, many times from, all the speakers that we hear from. But I think sometimes it just takes one either person or one book to change your mindset. And this book was it for me. Because this guy, he said if he could do it all over again, he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he wishes he would have done a network marketing business, just seeing how valuable it is, and how many, wealthy people have used this as another stream of income. There's actually companies out there that have dabbled in this that we all aware of, which is L'Oreal and Citigroup, Remington. So I'm going to do some research on how it is that they actually did that, because these are all companies that people are familiar with. And I think we just didn't know they were doing it. So basically my approach now is I am focused 100% this month on just trying to find business builders. I'm still going to be connecting with my clients, that are already signed up, but my main focus is I want people on my team, because I don't want to keep having to do what I had to do this month just to get to area qualification, which is a lot of selling. I want to be leading. Like, that's where I feel like where I succeed in my professional career is leading people and helping them achieve their goals. So I've already had 2 calls today with people, one that I used to work with at Vera Bradley and one that I used to work with in my first job right out of college. So this was good kind of practice too. And they both left like, wow, yep, this is something for me to actually think about, which before I read this book and then before I prepared for these kind of calls, I was just kind of willy-nilly going with it and not really having like a clear cut, this is what I want to accomplish and this is what I want them to see as a valuable reason to create a business for themselves. So I just planned on like starting off with like just trying to, like Tammy has taught us, talk to them, get to know them a little bit, where they're at in their current situation, what might be their motivation in life right now, and then kind of using that and sprinkling it in throughout your conversation. So the one thing that I started with is I said, what I promised you today is whatever you hear, if you decide to join me today, I'm here to help you make money and save money starting today. And this is what we're going to do. We are going to build a business together, which is going to be sharing this business, and you're going to be duplicating everything that I'm saying to you today. And this is how you're going to share this business with other people. And you're going to also start using the product and sharing the product. So you can share the product with your friends. You can use social media, however you feel comfortable using it. But this is what you're going to do to be successful. So one of the ways of doing that is taking the sheet that I saw on the Born to Win Nation, where you're doing 8 reach outs and trying to find 2 business partners, but approaching all of those reach outs as business builders. That's how I'm going to do it. I want to talk to 8 people and start with the business first and be upfront with them that I'm sharing them the business, and then kind of see where the conversation goes from there. And maybe they won't do the business, maybe they will, but at least then they can see what their opportunities are. And then we can go into product. So just going into making money, and I stressed twice today. I said the number one thing that we're doing and how I'm helping you make money is we're creating an asset that generates income, not an income that once you leave your job tomorrow, or if you got fired tomorrow, your money's gone. You're not getting it anymore. So, so I said, and so they were like, yeah, that's true. So I said, this is something that in a year I can still, go on vacation and be making money, and I'm not, I've already set up the team for success and I'm still continuing to grow it. I said, I go to bed at night, I wake up the next morning and I've had sales. So things are going on while you're sleeping, or when you go to a job that you're clocking in and clocking out, which a lot of salary people are not, but still are a lot of people that are. You're not making money while you're sleeping. And yes, you can do that with people that are overseas, but you can still do it with people that are here in the States. So, so that's one way. And then the way that I'm going to help you save money is by teaching you what it is to use tax deductions. So one way that we're doing that is you're creating your own business. So you can start using your home, part of your home, as a deduction, your internet, your phone, your computer, the miles you spend on your car. I feel like some of us know this who have their own business, but I'm telling you, a lot of people that I talk to, they don't have anybody in their family that has their own business. They don't know this exists. So we as leaders have to teach our team that this is something that is huge, because you can have this is going to help you at the end of the year, give you a better tax refund. Or if you're not getting a tax refund, it could get you a tax refund because of all the things that you're doing to help get your business going and moving, or at least bring the amount of money that if you are owing money, that you're getting some of that back because of all of these things. So I'm just planning on laying this out, and I'm going to plan on teaching them how to start tracking this stuff so that they can do that. And then my third point to them is, this is a low startup cost. All you have is $49, and this is what you get for $49. You get a personal website full of product that clients get to purchase, that you don't even, have to do anything with. You can help them or you cannot help them sign up, but this is something that they can be doing while you're, sleeping or whatever in their own time. You're getting tech support, which I can tell you from my other personal styling business, all of this stuff I have to pay for out of my pocket. So this is something that's coming with your $49 sign-up fee. You're getting tech support. You're getting marketing images. I'm not paying for a freelance marketer to make my images for me. You're getting a system that's tracking client orders and housing client information. You're getting an entire customer service team who's going to help you, and then help your team, and then help your clients. And again, I have another side business. I'm not getting any of that. I'm going to be paying a lot more money. I can tell you, just to pay for my website, that cost me about $2,500. So, and that's just to build a nice, beautiful website, not to maintain it. So for $49, you get all of this. And then you also get a network of people that are building a business like yourself, and you're sharing information. So I said to a couple of my potential business builders today, I said, we're used to corporate worlds, like, where I wouldn't want to typically share this information until I've succeeded. And like, I don't want somebody else to come in and take my spot because of the information that I have. I'm just giving an example. But I said, this is what's cool about this business is we're sharing this together, and we're trying different things to see what's working, even though, like, Lynn, we're not on the, you're not underneath me kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was explaining to them today. Like, we're here to help each other out because, at the end of the day, we're all building towards the same thing. We all want a business that's successful, and we want to go out there and make people happy and healthy. And then the best thing with this $49 is now you get the opportunity to try product that's going to improve your health and improve the health of others. So then I just kind of go from there, and then I just say, what do you think so far? And then just kind of talk through some of that stuff. And then I get into the sheet of Arbonne, because this is what I was using before. But for me, I didn't feel like it was working the way that I truly want it to work. So now this is how I'm going to use it. So this sheet for me is going to be the benefits. This is why you want Arbonne as a network marketing company, not somebody else. That's what this is for me for. So what are the benefits of choosing Arbonne? To me, it's the perks that the business is giving. So you're getting a car, you can get bonuses at every single level, you get all expense paid trips, all of those kind of things are really awesome. And there's only 4 levels. I really didn't even have to get into the levels when I was talking to people today. They didn't even really seem to care. They were just more like, oh, wow, yeah, that would be awesome. Because I've worked with both of these women. And again, you got to kind of know who you're talking to. And I'm just like, none of us have gotten these kind of things. I've gotten bonuses. We've gotten bonuses, but never trips in our car and things like that. So they liked that. And I said, the other benefit is you get to, like I was saying up at the top, you get to work with your friends. You get to choose who you get to work with. And so my last person that I talked to, I said, when you got up this morning, did you go to work and you were super excited to work with every single person that you were going to be interfacing with in the day? And she was like, not really. I said, exactly. I said, but here you do. I'm like, you are choosing the people you want to surround yourself with, and you are open to a network of people that are going to help you too. So this is a benefit of choosing Arbonne. Everyone is positive. Everyone's happy. Everyone's willing and able, no matter who you are, where you are in the company, they're going to help you. And then again, the benefit from choosing Arbonne is you're getting product that is consumable, that you use every single day. Nutrition, it's for men and women. I said, how many companies are out there? Most of these companies are geared towards women. This company is geared towards both and families. So you're going to constantly have orders coming all the time because there's something for everybody, and it's multiple products. And then you get to work on making your health better and helping other people feel better. So those are the benefits. And then I just, if they're kind of feeling like, okay, great. Now, yes, I want to do this, which I haven't quite gotten there yet, but one of them did ask, okay, so what would I have to do this? And so then I just went through that. I was like, you just need to sign up as a consultant. If I were you, I'd start trying the product, but you don't have to start trying the product to get out there and build a business. Number one thing after you sign up is we are going to work on sitting down together and coming up with your 8 people that we are going to talk to. Whether you're talking to them or I'm talking to them with you, however you feel comfortable with, this is what we're going to do. So that we can get you, moving up to the district manager level. And then secondly, we're going to start building your tracking spreadsheet for your business expenses, because like I told you, I'm here to share and help you save money. So by doing that, I'm going to help you help you track all this stuff. So, and then, so the reach outs, and then sharing the monthly deals, like going through like what, the monthly deals are, because I feel like that can get confusing. Like there's so much information out there, but just making sure that whatever month you're in, sharing all of the monthly deals, because those are really easy. Because immediately when I woke up and saw those today, I'm like, oh, I can already think of like 3 clients I want to share this stuff with right off the bat. So just going through that and just just going back and forth with people they're thinking of and how they can go through. So I feel like I said earlier, my success in the past, when I look at how I led my teams, was a lot of, and this may not be for you guys, but for me, it was more of like hand holding a little bit through the beginning, a lot, until they felt 100% comfortable to go out on their own. So I'm just planning on actually revisiting my team, because I feel like I've done a very bad job of making them feel successful, because I think I wasn't really sure how I was wanting to do this with them. And so now I'm meeting with, I'm reaching back out to them, and I'm going to go through this whole presentation this way with them. And then we're going to sit down and build. So like tomorrow, one of my clients or business builders that has been here, since October, and she's just been dabbling a little bit here and there. I'm going to sit down and go through all this with her. I already gave her some information through a text, and she's like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait. And I'm like, we're going to sit there. I'm going to have her pull out her phone, and we're going to go through. We're going to like go through and figure out the 8 people this month. I'm just going to say this month. You don't have to go crazy. I mean, you can if you want to, but if this is your comfort level for right now, this is your minimum goal right now, is 8 people, so that we can get them signed up, and 2 of them is built as business builders, if not all of them. My gosh, wouldn't that be awesome? So I'm excited about it, because but again, I don't know, I'm one of those people that I don't like sharing things until I've actually gone through and seen if they work. So, but this is how I'm planning on attacking the month, is doing this and just tweaking it and seeing what happens. And then just sharing with my team and really being on top of them, rather than just sending them a text saying, hey, how's it going? Have you had any reach outs today? I think I'm going to be more mindful of having commitments with them, of times to talk, and kind of accountability of where they stand, and what kind of like Christine was doing, like, what are you going to do by the end of the week? Like holding them accountable to doing that. I used to do that with my team too. I'd be like, okay, here's our weekly meeting. This is what I needed to talk to you about. Now, what do you guys plan to do for the week? And then they would tell me. And then I would come back the next week and I'm like, okay, where did you get all of that done? So I'm going to take that same approach and do that with my team that I have now, in hopes that that'll keep them motivated, feeling accountable, and see where it may go. I mean, if all I can do is try it and see and, change. And then the last thing or the couple other things I'm going to, tomorrow with my person, is let's fill your calendar. We're going to start these business meetings. We're going to start putting a social media calendar together. If they're feeling comfortable to start sharing things like that, just picking some days to go on and actually have a mindful post and kind of discuss what those are going to be. And then try to get people to sign up for the 30 days to healthy living. Because what I'm seeing, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I feel like when people sign up for the 30 days to healthy living, they 95% of the time they love the results so much, that's what gets them into everything else. Or that's what gets them to want to do this as a business. So I'm going to focus on that. Similar as Peyton. Peyton has stressed, like, she makes her team do the 30 days to healthy living. I'm going to try my best to get them to do the same thing, so that they can talk to it and, convince and share with others that this is like a really good thing for them to do. And then the last thing I'm going to stress that they do is read personal development books. You need to build your belief around yourself first and around your business, because if you aren't feeling good with yourself, you're not going to have success in anything that you do. So, I'm going to recommend to them that they read The Business of the 21st Century and The Happiness Advantage. This is a book that I read when I was working in corporate world, because I feel like a lot of us are stuck in a kind of like a lot of negativity, which is why I love this business so much, because everyone is so positive, but there's so much negativity working, at least in my past world of a corporate environment. And you really need a positive mind to stay uplifted and exude that when you talk to people and lead people. So the happiness advantage was like a game changer for me back then. It actually teaches you how to get into a positive state of mind when you don't feel like you may be in. And then, so those are the two books that I'm going to recommend to my team, but I'm going to encourage them to go out, talk to other people that own their own businesses, see what books inspire them, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, go from there. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm reaching out. Two of my business builders are on vacation, so I'm hoping we can connect when they get back. But this is basically how I'm going. And then I'm also working on some side documents that I want to address called hesitations, because this is another thing. I want to address all hesitations that I have learned and have been hearing through, the calls that Tammy puts on Tuesdays, and just from my own personal experience of when you talk to people, the hesitations that they have, because I know from my experience that if I'm not prepared for them, then I just fold. I'm just like, oh, okay, thanks. So to one of my potential business builders said that today. Well, I don't know how to respond to this when somebody says that. And I'm like, oh, that was so me. So now I want to work on, or maybe Tammy, you or Kathy Ray might want to do this and put this on the website, is put together like hesitations that we're hearing. So for example, like, I don't have time to do this right now. What is the typical response? What kind of response should we say to that? So to me, like I'm thinking like, okay, is it more valuable to you than what you're spending on your time right now? So like if you're saying to me, I want to spend more time with my family, and let's say, how many hours a week are you cleaning your house? You know what I mean? Like, and then if they say, oh, probably 5 hours, then just be like, well, can you take those 5 hours and maybe put it towards this business that would eventually give you time to be with your family? Just things like that. Like just trying to come up with responses, because I know that's how I am. And if I can read some of these things before I go into a potential business opportunity with someone, and then I can tell them and come back with these responses, I think that'll help build confidence for your team as well. So that was a lot of the questions that I got from my friend who's been doing the 30 days were all around the 30 days. So I feel like there needs to be some questions that we all get as consultants, and how we can respond. Right. Because I feel like I've lost out on a lot of business opportunities on the spot because I don't know how to respond. But if I have a document to go to that I can say, okay, I keep hearing like it's too expensive, and we all talk about it, like what we think it could be, but to have an actual document that somebody can read in their own time, like that's something I was thinking about working on for my team, so that they have confidence before they go in to talk to somebody about the 30 days. Like this is a typical response for something that's too much money, or I don't want to do the business, or whatever, I don't want to be a salesperson, just things like that. Like what are some good responses to go back to? Because Tammy, I have asked you a bazillion times the same questions over and over again, but I'm a visual person. I need to see it written down. Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking, especially after talking to those two women today, I need to have a document to help make them feel comfortable and confident when they're going to talk to somebody, because they're just kind of like, I don't know it. And you'll get it eventually, right? Once you do it enough, you're going to be confident in your replies. But in the beginning, when you're not, which we all aren't when we're starting a business because it's new. So we just need to like give our team or I want to give my team tools that I think will be beneficial. And again, I will only know if once they start using it, if they tell me like, yes, this worked great, or no, it didn't. But so that's something that I'm going to work on. It's like a little to-do thing for me. I'm also looking into, like I said, those companies, how they used network marketing, just in case you need like a big guns kind of thing, depending on who you're talking to, of how these companies have used it. I kind of want to put together like a visual around pyramid schemes, because I feel like I hear that too, so that you can visually show people how this is not a pyramid scheme. things like that. And then I'm just basically have notes to myself that if they say no to the business, then I'm just going to ask, like, do they know anybody who would be that they could refer me to, so I could share that opportunity, and then also introduce them to the product. That's when I'll introduce them to the product.
Love it.
Which I was never doing any of that before. I was just going straight for the product, but so for me, that's how I'm going to go. That's how I'm going to try it and see what happens.
I love this. Sherry's done a whole 180 here, because she was like, Tammy, I don't know. I'm just not going to talk about the business. I don't feel comfortable talking about the business with people. I'm like, Sherry, we have to talk about the business.
No, I do. I just don't.
So I was like, just do it in a story form. You don't have to go through all the levels or whatever, but just say why you see this as a benefit, versus corporate,
Yeah, I think for me,
you're like, lead with the business and then the products. It's just so fun. I'm so energized hearing you.
Yeah, I think the only part that I'm still not sure on is doing the home parties, because that's where so to me, when I'm not comfortable, I got to figure out my way of doing it. And then the reason why I say I'm not comfortable with it, like if I'm inviting people over, and I know you guys are all going to kill me, but if I'm inviting people over to share product, I feel kind of weird going into a long business presentation, because they're not mentally coming in saying, I'm going to come to learn about a new business that I'm going to get in. So I'm trying to figure out, because I obviously don't want to lose those people either. But, and I asked a lot of my family, because we've done some of these business, Tammy and I have done these. And so I always ask questions like, what did you guys think? And And it's the same, because there's so much information that we're giving from the product side when we give these 30 days. And then when we come in with the business, there's so much there too. It's like, oh my gosh. So I'm just trying to figure out my way of, putting those two together.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times too at presentations, like we've heard, I don't know if you remember when Laura Fortner talked to us, Dr. Laura Fortner, her technique after every presentation is to just ask for a coffee appointment. And, we go through it just to go through the, comp plan, the income levels and stuff. But then she tries to get a coffee appointment with every person that was in attendance, just to, talk to them in person and kind of figure out, again, like you said, what their motivation is, what their need is, and how we could tailor this for their life and stuff, but just to have that one-on-one time with them. So I love that. I think that's a great way to use these one-on-one appointments to, one, book a presentation from that. So now that they're familiar with what Arbonne is, they're more inclined to tell their friends and be able to get people there. Or vice versa, you invite someone to a presentation and then you ask for the coffee appointment to talk more about the business. So, one-on-ones for sure is where we're going to have a deeper conversation. Yeah. And you're right, Sherry. Amy knows this. I am way too long-winded. So that is something that I'm working on, right, Amy? and you do, it's too much. And so that's something that Carol has taught me the word intrigue. We can talk about the products if that's what they're coming to hear, but then we can intrigue them about the business with our own story. And I love it. I love when you talk about, Sherry, the difference, between corporate and how you felt versus this. And I think that's what people need to hear, is just a real life example, and then that creates intrigue to want to know more, and then to have that coffee appointment,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. It's definitely something we all need to tailor, is just to make them excited to meet with us later to talk more. But so I hear you. I do. This was great.
I'm not saying for you. I'm not critiquing anyone. I'm just saying for myself, I got to figure out, because I just always go off of how I feel when I go into something like that. Like the first time I've ever listened to Arbonne, I was just like, I was excited, but then I was so overwhelmed because there's so much information. I was like, and plus it's I don't know. I'm just one of those that I just like to share it all. Like, this is what's happening when you come to my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So people know what to expect.
But
They're
I
not
think I'm just one of
surprised.
those people, like, I'm always just like, here's everything you're going to see when you come to my house. And like, this is what we're going to be doing. But that's just me. So.
Well, I love this approach, Sherry, because you're basically, again, because this has been what I've done is start with, talking about Arbonne and the products and my story, and then you get into the business where you're flipping that. You're talking about the business first and tax benefits and how to save them money. And I just think that's awesome because now their ears are open, and whether they're into the business or not, then the fallback is always the product. So I love that. It's a great approach to kind of begin with the close, begin with what you want, because that's really what you want with every appointment is we're looking for business builders. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is perfect. I really love this. And I love your idea for creating a hesitations and objections list, just so that we're confident and knowing how to navigate through those. Because you're right. I think for all of us, that trips you up so hard, when you're new, because you're so excited, then someone, like slams you and you're like, oh man, now I'm afraid to talk to the next person. So that would, again, really help people gain confidence. And I feel like we have something that we could pull from, but then we could add to it too. So yeah, that'll give me something to look up. And yeah, it just makes me think, like, as you were speaking and how we want to talk to people, I just kept kind of, because I'm in a zone too where it's like, to do this right, we have to make it so simple, so that we can duplicate well. And I think for me, there again, like you, there's so much information, and it's like, how do we streamline it and make it so simple? And mm-hmm. So really our basic steps are to, one, get people on the product. And I do disagree that we can't authentically have a business without ever using the product. We just can't. It just doesn't work. So that's really step one, is getting on the product. And, often people who are ordering and they're loving Arbonne, those are the people that lead you to business builders, or they become business builders because they love the product and it's so easy for them to share why they love it. So it's just such an easy, transition into the business. So yes, so get them started on the product, teach them how to talk to people with, a presentation, and then overcoming objections, and then really showing them how to make money and helping them make money by getting them in front of people and helping them get a paycheck, and then helping them do that with a team member. It's like we want to help them duplicate before we leave them. Of course, we don't leave anybody, but you know what I mean? We want them to have a business partner, because look how quickly Miranda popped to district because she had a business partner. So that's what we want to do, is try to, help people find a business partner right away so that they can build and grow together. That's so much more fun. People who, we call them executive district managers. So now, Sherry, you're technically an executive district manager because you just promoted out a district. When you become an area and you promote out an area, you're an executive area manager, or like Kathy Ray is an executive regional vice president because she promoted me to the same level. So anyway, executive district managers have 350% higher retention than just district managers. So meaning people tend to stay in the business, they don't quit if they have a team. So that just makes sense. So anyway, to recap what you were saying, help people get on the products, help them learn the presentation and overcome objections, and help them make money, and then duplicate themselves and find a team member. That's really what I heard in your presentation, and then leading with the business. And I'm so energized listening to you, Sherry. It's really exciting, and I got so much out of this. Thank you. And I want to hear from Amy and Lynn too. What are you guys thinking?
I took a ton of notes so that I have a way to present the reason, the value in a business, so to speak. And no offense, but when you came a little bit long-winded, I wrote down more than 8 contacts and already kind of coming up with
Oh, good. Yes.
to go after
Awesome.
for this month. So.
Awesome, Lynn.
Go ahead, Amy.
Sherry,
Awesome. How about you, Amy?
I thought you were fantastic, and I'm guilty too. I'm sure Tammy's told me 500,000 times to read that book. So I'm going to go upstairs to my office and see.
You haven't read that book?
No.
Oh. Okay. Step 1.
But I know that you've told me many times.
Okay.
And now that, hold on, Sydney. And now that I've heard Sherry's incredible sort of overview about it, I'm very intrigued. And so I'm going to go upstairs and see if it's in my office, and I'm going to read it. But I do believe there is so much.
You know what?
What?
That just gave me goosebumps, because I'm telling you, I read that book and then we went area manager, and look what's happening with Sherry.
Well,
so I think
exactly.
This is the key to area manager right there, that book.
Yes. So hold on. Sydney, please. Sorry. I loved everything that you had to say, and I know how important it is to be talking about the business and have business builders. And I think I was doing more of that before I became an area manager, and then some of that fizzled a little bit, and it's really something that I have to get back to. So I have 2 appointments this week to meet with people, and I want to read this book before I talk to them. Of course, one of them is tomorrow at 1:00, so that's going to be kind of interesting, but I'm going to go see if I have it upstairs and skim through it. But I thought you had so many great tips, and it was so good to hear from you. So I am so excited for you, and I know that
I ordered the book immediately.
Well, I looked on Amazon to even see if it was on Audible, or see if I could listen to it too.
I think it might be.
It is.
Yeah.
I just looked it up really quick, but I think Tammy probably gave me the book. I think I have it upstairs. Yeah. I'm going to go find it, but I loved everything you had to say.
1 million people.
What did you say? Maybe I'll turn my video off and walk upstairs and see if I can find it.
But yeah, this is just my one-on-one conversation.
Do that.
I mean, I'm still working on, like I'm hosting a party at a salon this weekend, and I have another one that I'm hosting next Thursday. So I'm definitely working on still trying to get some of those on the calendar, but my main focus is going to be one-on-ones to share this, which if they won't do the business, I feel like then I can convince them to try the 30 days. And then maybe they'll come back to the business.
Right. They say, so it's called the funnel. And so we start with the business, and then we go to the product or hosting, actually. We go business and then ask them to host. And if they're not willing to host, we ask them to, try the product. If they don't want to try the product, we're just asking them for a referral. So that's, and the psychology behind that is people aren't going to say no to you 4 times. They're going to say yes, finally, to something. So, so start with the business, and then you can always fall back on the product. If they say no to the product, it's hard to go skip to the business then,
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. So you're funneling people, whether you knew that or not.
Oh, I know. That was my goal.
I love it. Oh, this was super valuable, Sherry. Thank you so much. And,
you're welcome.
I love to, I heard something, of course, I think this is from Jordan Adler, because I've been on a Jordan Adler streak, but he said, and this is kind of on the side to what you were saying, but just as we're navigating through this business, because there's ups and downs, there's days, I know, because I talk to all of you, there's days when you're like, woo, this is so awesome, and then there's other days where it's like, oh, this sucks, what am I doing, why isn't this working, this person quit, this person whatever, went MIA. Yes, so in all of these peaks and valleys, a piece of advice is to make decisions based on your commitment, not based on the emotion that you're experiencing in the moment. And the more I think about that, I think that's so valuable as we're growing as leaders, is to, always come back to our commitment. And commitment is doing what you're saying you're going to do long after the feeling in which you said it in has passed, So kind of taking the emotional roller coaster out of this and just staying committed to, like Sherry said, booking her 8, and going from there. And then you'll book another 8, or, whatever your goal is. But just staying committed to that goal instead of getting caught up in this emotional roller coaster, because the no's are inevitable. The, people quitting, the whatever, that's inevitable. It's just human nature. People quit. People, sign up for a gym and then never go, or people quit marriages. People quit things, but the point is staying committed, and not letting this business become this emotional roller coaster. And for me, that was another big shift as I moved from district manager to area manager, is just staying committed to, the system basically, and trusting it, and not saying, oh, parties don't work. Oh, one-on-ones don't work just because you have one that didn't go so well. No, it works. Obviously people are promoting like crazy, just plugging into the system and, talking to 30 to 40 people a month. So, it's just getting off the emotional roller coaster. This call, Sherry, I'm so excited to share the recording. So thank you for being part of it. I'm so glad you guys all tuned in. I'm going to stop the recording, but then we can still chat. Let's see here. Oh, wait, not end meeting. Oh, dear.
I am going to leave the meeting and go help clean up the kitchen from dinner.
Bye, Lynn.
Okay, I might have to end it.
I'll talk to you ladies this week.
Okay.
Bye.